Alright guys, I am back with some Ring of Honor TV reviews, and at the end of this video I'm going to talk about the live TV tapings I went to while I was in New Orleans. Obviously those are going to be spoilers because they haven't aired on TV yet, so I'm going to save those till the end. Starting with the Ring of Honor April 5th show, we see Adam Page join the Decade. Jimmy Jacobs is talking to him, and Page, I guess wanting to pay his dues, decides to join the Decade, and now he's like their slave. He's their young boy, they call him. This is awesome. And I know I've said before I'm not a big fan of the Decade or anything like that, but this is actually pretty good stuff. This has got me interested in the Decade, this whole thing with Adam Page. But more on that later. It's Chris Hero versus Roderick Strong. This was a really good match. Hero just starts elbowing the crap out of Roderick. He hits him with like 4 or 5 rolling elbows, and then he starts stretching him, but Roderick's completely out of it, so the ref stops the match. Another thing I really liked about this match was Jimmy Jacobs on commentary. He's talking about how when he started in the business, like Adam Page, he was bullied. He was bullied by guys like CM Punk and Madman Pondo. And listening to him talk about this was really entertaining. Then it's the Young Bucks versus Red Dragon for the tag titles. This was a good match, but it didn't really flow as well as you would expect. I don't know if that's because Matt Jackson was injured. He had a cast on his hand. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but the match, there was a few times it wasn't really flowing that well, but it was still a good match. Young Bucks go for a bang for your buck, and O'Reilly catches Nick Jackson in a choke, but he flips over him, covers him, gets the win. New tag team champions. Awesome to see the Young Bucks back, and now they're the tag champions, so hopefully we'll see more of them. Then it's April 12th. This was the first part of the Supercard of Honor Road Rage show. The second one aired tonight. So this one has Silas Young versus R.D. Evans. The streak is on the line. He's 82-0. You got Veda Scott and Ramon out there with R.D. Evans trying to interfere in the match. One sick-ass spot was Silas Young hits an electric chair on R.D. Evans on the apron. Just looked brutal as hell. Eventually, Ramon throws his belt in the ring, and Silas gets it, and then R.D. Evans acts like he was hit with the belt. So the referee's like, hey, what's going on here? But nothing really comes of this. So then Silas Young just goes to hit him in front of the referee. This didn't really make any sense, but he accidentally hits the referee instead, so the ref takes a bump here. Silas Young hits the moonsault, covers him, a new ref runs out, counts 3, but then Turner, the original referee, wakes up and he's like, no, I was hit with the belt. He reverses the decision. R.D. Evans wins the match. The streak continues, 83-0. We see Truth Martini backstage. He says he's going to reveal the newest member of the House of Truth tonight. Matt Taven comes out for a match, but Truth Martini interrupts him. And this was weird. Truth starts reading from his book, and then Taven takes the book, and he flips through it, and the book catches on fire, and then Truth Martini low blows Taven. So then backstage, we see Matt Taven running around looking for Truth Martini. He's going through the locker room. Have you seen Truth? He goes to the bathroom, and then he just starts screaming, my face! My face! And Truth Martini comes out smoking a cigarette. And he says something to the effect of, I'm not fired, you're fired. And it was kind of weird and silly, but I thought it was well done. And it's, for Ring of Honor, what they have to work with, I thought this was good. It was cool to see them do something backstage with Taven running through the locker room and looking for Truth, and the Truth taking him out in the bathroom. And yeah, it happened off camera, but you know, when you're kind of limited financially, you got to improvise, and I thought they did a good job with that. We get a video of Tommaso Ciampa defending the TV title in Europe. Then it's Jay Lethal versus Ciampa for the TV title, 2 out of 3 falls match. Match wasn't too bad, I guess, but like I've said before, I'm just not really into this feud because I've seen it. Jay Lethal gets the first fall, the ref takes a bump, Truth Martini comes out, he slides Tommaso Ciampa's leg brace to Jay Lethal, he hits Ciampa with it, Ciampa kicks out, Lethal hits him with everything, Ciampa refuses to stay down, finally Lethal hits Lethal Injection and gets the win. New TV champion here, and Jay Lethal has officially joined the House of Truth. So, I thought it was really cool to see Jay Lethal turn heel. I'm still not crazy about a feud with Ciampa and Lethal, because even though they've switched the roles and Lethal's the heel now, I just don't really care about that feud. I need something new with these two guys. But it was a decent show, and Jay Lethal being heel is awesome. Very excited to see what he does with that. On to the April 19th show. This one is also part of Supercard of Honor. You see Roderick Strong versus Cedric Alexander. Something happened in this match where Roderick Strong's hand gets busted open and it's bleeding. So when he chops Cedric, there's like blood, which looked really cool, but I have no idea how this happened. I went back to try to figure it out, and I could not find where this took place. But there is one part where Roderick looks at his hand and he's like, what the fuck? So that was funny. Cedric dives on Decade, then Roderick hits the backbreaker for the win. I like Roderick Strong, I really do, but Cedric Alexander is a young guy, he's got a lot of talent. Why can he never beat anyone strong? No pun intended. I mean, seriously, Cedric cannot beat anybody who's really worth a damn. And that's why he can't reach that next level. He never beats anybody who's like established. Then you get Jacobs, Whitmer, and Page versus Adrenaline Rush and Andrew Everett. And the Decade hits the All-Seeing Eye on Tadarius Thomas for the win. So the Decade goes over these guys too. Afterwards, Jacobs pulls out the spike. He's acting like he's going to stab Tadarius, but instead he backs off. He doesn't stab him. They show photos from the Ladder War match. Kevin Kelly says they planned to show the entire match in its entirety, but it was just too brutal. And I'm really looking forward to watching this match. I heard it was crazy as hell. Just from the photos, Jay Briscoe was bleeding. He looks like a crazy G.G. Allen. And I heard they took some sick-ass bumps, especially Jay Briscoe. And I'm really looking forward to watching that match. But see, the rest of the show is on television for free. I don't want to pay whatever, $15 for one match. You know what I'm saying? Main event is Elgin versus Kevin Steen for a shot at the IWGP title. This match was really good here. Elgin kicks out of the F5 and a package pile driver. Steen kicks out of the buckle bomb spinning powerbomb combo. And then finally Elgin hits the buckle bomb and then the package pile driver, Steen's move, for the win. So Elgin goes over here. I believe they said the winner will be facing Okada. And honestly, out of these two guys, I would rather see Elgin versus Okada than Steen. So I'm glad he went over here. But it was a good match. These were good shows. It's awesome that they show shows like Supercard of Honor, Raising the Bar, matches from these shows on television for free. But at the same time, it really gives me no motivation to buy the shows at the website. One match for $15, I have a very hard time justifying that. So anyways, the TV tapings I saw, I'm not going to go through like every match because they're going to air them on TV, like 3 weeks of these. So I'm going to do a more in-depth review once these actually air. Because that gives me something to talk about for the TV shows, and I can't really remember everything that happened. Even going through the photos, I was having trouble. So for the Ring of Honor show, me and my friend showed up. He bought a ROH shirt. I got some autographs and pictures from Steen. Well, they had all the guys lined up, And I asked, is there like a fee you pay and then you get all the autographs? And he said, no, it's just like $10 a guy. So I got Steen, Elgin. Truth Martini didn't have anything to sign, so I just got a picture with him, and then Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy was really cool. He actually said if I was on Twitter to send him a message. We're both from North Carolina, so we talked about that. And I haven't sent him a tweet just because I'm never really on Twitter, and my Twitter account is kind of embarrassing. That's why I'm trying to do this whole customize your message thing now, because if it puts that message on Twitter, it looks a whole hell of a lot better. Right now, my Twitter page is just like 1,000 posts saying, customize your message. It's just whatever. When they made the changes to YouTube, it did that. So maybe I'll send him a tweet eventually, but he was really cool. So it was awesome meeting Matt Hardy. The actual show, they taped 3 episodes. So the young boy, Adam Page, comes out with the Decade. I had not seen these episodes, so I didn't know about this. I thought it was really funny. He has a towel. He cleans the ropes. He holds the ropes for him. He's got a bucket full of water for him. And eventually, Tadarius Thomas comes out. And he has also joined Decade. And everybody was just shocked about this. They were saying that was a quick turn because we didn't actually see what took place to make Tadarius Thomas join the Decade. It must be some backstage thing they shot. So yeah, Tadarius Thomas is now part of the Decade. Adam Cole won the Jay Briscoe world title, so now he has both belts. And he has Matt Hardy come out and he presents him with Jay Briscoe's belt. Let's see what happens next. Silas Young had a match. It was cool to see him live. Actually, I think I've seen him live before in Asheville. But we also had a match with Hanson and Raymond Rowe. That was cool. They faced Red Dragon, I think. Red Dragon did a fish tank in the ring. They got a ton of heat. It was hilarious. They were going to have a match. Bobby Fish is taking his clothes off, but he leaves the scarf on. So all the fans were chanting, "Leave the scarf on." And then he stands in the ropes and he's like, "You want the scarf on?" And he takes it and just throws it away. So great heel moment there. Artie Evans has a match against... Oh, God, I can't even remember. Yeah, I can't remember. It's too much shit to remember. But Artie Evans wins the match, and he is 100-0 now. They just go straight to 100, and they have this big celebration for him and all the streak freaks. So that was really cool. So I got to see Artie Evans' streak go to 100-0, and the Undertaker's streak die, basically. Kind of weird now that I think about it. And finally, it's Cole, Hardy, and Bennett versus Steen and the Briscoes. And Matt Hardy comes out, and he's got Jay Briscoe's title, but now it's got a big picture of his face in the center, which was hilarious. And yeah, that was pretty much the show. I can't really remember a lot of the details, but I'll definitely be watching it on TV and doing more videos on it once I see it there. See how it comes across on TV. But the crowd felt pretty small for this show, but they had a lot of energy. It was a really lively crowd. They had these guys sitting up front who were dressed like the Wyatt family. They even had like a little lantern. And if you watch Kevin Steen's Weekend Escapades, he's actually got some footage of these guys, and they were sitting up front. But yeah, it was a great time. Always have fun going to the Ring of Honor shows. It was kind of interesting when we first walked in because Nigel McGuinness and Joe Koff were running the merch table. And then as I was leaving, we got in our car. We actually saw Joe Koff and Kevin Kelly get in a car right in front of us and drive away. So just, yeah, it was a great time. I had a lot of fun. Really wish I could have attended Supercard of Honor, but, you know, I did enjoy the TV tapings, and it was a great weekend. So that's my review. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts on these shows in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye. Page, I guess, wanting to pay his dues, decides to join the Decade, and now he's like their slave. He's their young boy, they call him. This is awesome. And I know I've said before I'm not a big fan of the Decade or anything like that, but this is actually pretty good stuff. This has got me interested in the Decade, this whole thing with Adam Page. But more on that later. It's Chris Hero versus Roderick Strong. This was a really good match. Hero just starts elbowing the crap out of Roderick. He hits him with like 4 or 5 rolling elbows, and then he starts stretching him, but Roderick's completely out of it, so the ref stops the match. Another thing I really liked about this match was Jimmy Jacobs on commentary. He's talking about how when he started in the business, like Adam Page, he was bullied. He was bullied by guys like CM Punk and Madman Pondo. And listening to him talk about this was really entertaining. Then it's the Young Bucks versus Red Dragon for the tag titles. This was a good match, but it didn't really flow as well as you would expect. I don't know if that's because Matt Jackson was injured. He had a cast on his hand. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but the match, there was a few times it wasn't really flowing that well, but it was still a good match. Young Bucks go for a bang for your buck, and O'Reilly catches Nick Jackson in a choke, but he flips over him, covers him, gets the win. New tag team champions. Awesome to see the Young Bucks back, and now they're the tag champions, so hopefully we'll see more of them. Then it's April 12th. This was the first part of the Supercard of Honor Road Rage show. The second one aired tonight. So this one has Silas Young versus R.D. Evans. The streak is on the line. He's 82. Alright guys, I am back with some Ring of Honor TV reviews, and at the end of this video I'm going to talk about the live TV tapings I went to while I was in New Orleans. Obviously those are going to be spoilers because they haven't aired on TV yet, so I'm going to save those till the end. Starting with the Ring of Honor April 5th show, we see Adam Page join the Decade. Jimmy Jacobs is talking to him, and Page